Okay, before we even start, I just want to mention that none of this is confirmed, and obviously, you know the drill, the cliche line, take it with a grain of salt. None of it is confirmed. We don't have any real reputable sources. The only really reputable thing about this is that it sounds legit. It sounds plausible, so none of it is confirmed. Don't exactly get your hopes up, but honestly, it's probably the biggest piece of Saints Row 5 news that we've gotten probably ever, and honestly, if this is true, it is absolutely huge, but I just want you guys to know that none of it is confirmed, and yeah, let's hop right into it. Alright, so this was put up by an anonymous leaker on 4chan, and I found that it was dissected by a user on resetera.com. The user's name is Vestan, and I will have his dissection of the leak in the description, and I'll also have the Reddit post where I found it. And also thank you to SRJ on YouTube, because he's the one who kind of told me about the leak and kind of sparked this entire video. But it is a huge leak, as I said, if it is true. Vestan also mentions that he would not be surprised if the game was unveiled at the PS5 showcase on September 16th here. Now, personally, guys, let me just tell you that I don't think this is going to happen. I hope I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, let's come back to this video and, laugh at how much of a moron I was, but I don't think that's going to happen. But again, I hope I'm wrong, but this huge leak details story setup, gameplay, graphics, and some miscellaneous facts. So there is a lot to go over here. And let's start with story setup. So the first huge bombshell that he drops is that Saints Row 5 would be a continuation of Saints Row the Third's plot, meaning that Saints Row 4 and Get Out of Hell got retconned as like a crazy in-universe TV show, which that in itself would be huge news already, and honestly would make some sense because that's a popular fan theory, so I would not be surprised if they went in that direction. The plot is about how the Saints become an evil corporate empire similar to Altor. You are playing as a new protagonist with a new cast to support you as you go against the old Saints cast. Main antagonists are old Saints, but also other gangs. One of them was a motorcycle gang called the Wolfpack. There are some story-related choices you can make. I've seen you guys in my comments, you wanted that. For example, you can ally with a gang to go against the Saints. Another thing I saw you guys want. So this is some really juicy stuff. It would be creative and super original. And really, really an interesting choice if they went with this. And you know what? I would be so down. This sounds so sick and awesome. Up next, it says that all the old Saints are there except Gat, who is kept dead. Interesting choice, which is mentioned as part of the reason why the Saints became soulless corporate bullies. Interesting wording there. The old boss, player character from previous games, now wears a cool looking mask that makes their voice muffled and tactical body armor, so their look is open to interpretation. That's really interesting, honestly. A really interesting spin. The game is set in modern Stillwater. Bomb. The OG city from 1 and 2, but it's been massively expanded. It has way more countryside and new islands. Oh my god. This would be like a fan's wet dream for Saints Row 5. Tone is a middle ground between 1, 2, and 3. Also another thing that the fans really wanted. There are no superpowers. And lastly, for the story setup, the game has a thing going on where it feels like you're seeing the old Saints from the perspective of an average NPC. Extreme versions of their SR3 selves, basically. Old Saints never cared about hurting innocent people, which plays a big role in building the Saints as this evil gang. Wow. Next up, we have gameplay. For gameplay, he mentions that character customization is similar to Saints Row 2. You can wear clothing pieces in multiple ways. Sliders are there for each body part this time, so you can go all the way in creating weird monstrosities, something that has always been beloved in the Saints Row franchise. He then mentions genital censorship, which is a little interesting factoid. Weapon customization isn't linear anymore like it was in Saints Row 4 and even Saints Row the Third. You can put on different scopes and camos and switch between ammo types, something that we've been wanting, a small thing, but still really nice. 4-player co-op with difficulty scaling to number of players. That is huge if it's 4-player co-op. And then get this, Multiplayer will be a 32-player free roam gang warfare with activities like deathmatch activating dynamically in the world, so you can drive around the map and then get a pop-up from the game that invites you and the rest of the players to participate in deathmatch. If your gang wins the deathmatch, you'll gain a small territory as part of a bigger region in this particular lobby. This won't be global, so each lobby will have different territories controlled by different gangs. And lastly, no destructible environments, but physics felt a lot better. For example, ragdolls weren't floaty anymore like in Saints Row 4, and driving felt close to GTA 5. Alright, up next he mentions the graphics. He says that it's like Saints Row the 3rd remastered, but better, and not cartoony at all. Again, no destructible environments, but physics felt a lot better. For example, ragdolls weren't floating anymore like Saints Row 4, and he mentions the same thing again with GTA 5. And then for miscellaneous, he says that the game is in a playable early state. Volition has invited tons of people from the Saints Row community and some YouTube influencers to check it out, who are all under NDA. They might show some trailers this year, but it's coming out in late 2021 or even 2022. So as you guys can see, that was like literally bombshell after bombshell just dropped. I mean, about stuff that if you've been on this channel, we've been like speculating and wondering about this stuff for months now. So the fact that in one post there was just bombshell after bombshell, it's just mind-blowing almost for us. And again, who knows if all or even any of this is true. Maybe none of it is true, but I don't know. Some of the people like on Game Rant, for example, are saying that it seems legit because there's no red flags anywhere. I think it needs to go deeper than that. Again, take it with a grain of salt. It's not exactly true just because, you know, it sounds possible. Like, if they did this, I think this would be the smartest thing for Volition to do, except Johnny Gat's death. That one is really particular because they retconned that in Saints Row 4 because of how much backlash they got for killing him off in Saints Row the 3rd. So the fact that they would make him dead again is kind of odd. I mean, maybe it's true, but that one's kind of weird. I don't know about that. But other than that, it does seem super plausible, and this is all stuff that I've seen in my comment sections all the time. So it's popular fan requests. So if this is true, then I would be right in that Volition has been listening to the community like crazy. Basically, all of these things are stuff that the community wanted. But again, we don't really know. They're super interesting, especially the fact that he says that it's in a playable state and people have gone and played it. I'm not one of them, by the way. And that it's coming out either late 2021 or 2022. I would think that it was probably going to come out earlier, and it was internally delayed, if not for, you know, what's happening right now in the world. But that 2022 is kind of far. I could probably see it being late 2021. But again, who really knows at this point? The multiplayer seems just dope. I feel like I'm going to have a blast doing that, and it seems like something that's going to keep the game alive after people are done playing the story, and it seems really fun. The fact that we'd be getting like Stillwater on steroids, that's also super interesting. I would love that. That would be incredible, and I know a lot of you have been dying to get that too, so that would be amazing. And this like really interesting twist on a story. The retcon thing, that's a theory that I've seen a lot, again, in my comment section, so they'd just be going with like a really popular fan theory, and it's kind of logical. It's one of the most logical ways to retcon the later games. But the fact that the old Saints would actually be the villains of the story, whoa, that's an interesting twist. Like, I would not have seen that coming, and I think I saw it in my comments. I mean, like, props to you guys who brought that up, because that might actually be happening, but I think that would be super interesting, and it'd be a really nice twist, I think. And the fact that they're like an evil corporate empire and you gotta like take them down with other gangs like the Wolf Pack or whatever, like that's awesome. And I mean, I would be ecstatic. I would be over the moon happy if this is all true and this is what they went with in the game. And as far as the PS5 showcase, I mean, this is going up on September 13th. September 16th, please, I hope I'm wrong and the game is announced. I would love that, and we see some of this stuff. But he did also mention that a trailer could be coming soon, so keep your eyes open. I feel like friction and attention is starting to build maybe around this game, and hopefully this stuff is all true. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Honestly, this is so huge. I'm like buzzing with excitement. If you guys want me to make another video about this, maybe I will, where I can analyze the leaks even more and talk about it with you guys. I want the comment section bumping today. This is what we've been waiting for as a Saints Row community. I want to hear from all of you guys what you think about these leaks. Comment down below. Leave a like on this video for more Saints Row 5 content. And I am just over the moon, super happy.